Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Bree and this is Blowing Lines. I have with me somebody who is really fucking outstanding. Prior to the podcast, we were talking about a few things and he really impressed me with his attitude. He has something that a lot of us don't have naturally. I'm not sure if he got it from experience or he was born with it. But he said something that's really unique. He said, people need to not give a fuck. And in his line of work, most people wouldn't do it because they give too many fucks. Bret, what's going on?
Not much. What's going on? I'm drinking a White Claw right now.
Yes.
I'm on my second one, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Did you smoke?
No.
No? You're a smoker. How come you didn't smoke?
I don't know. That's a once a week type thing for me right now.
Oh, God. That used to be like a tray 5 every day for me type thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like I smoke like blunts all the time. So if like when it gets to that point where I don't smoke a blunt and I'm just getting like mad migraines, I don't like it.
Okay.
Because like I didn't go like a day or two without smoking a blunt and I felt pretty sick. If I smoke blunts regularly and I don't smoke, like I fiend, I get sick, I get feverish.
Well, is that because your body or because you are using medicine? So I should rephrase this. This is
like if I smoke a bowl, I'll be okay.
Okay.
But I like to smoke blunts.
Okay.
Which is probably not okay, but
no, it is okay. It's absolutely my dad is into this business. Okay, he just
right.
He's into this shit, okay? It's like in my bloodline. This shit is absolutely okay. What I'm asking is, does your body feel that way because you're addicted to it? Or does the weed help with your body?
I think it just the amount of tobacco that I'm smoking.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Not
weed. If I smoke joints all week, I'd be okay. But if I smoke 3 blunts in a day...
Holy fuck.
And then do that for 5 days and then go 3 days without it. I don't feel good. Just like I never smoke cigarettes, but I'm sure you get the same way when you go from smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and then you stop smoking altogether. You get sick, right?
Yeah, no, what you're saying is so important because weed, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's harmful at all.
No.
But what you're saying is there's always an addictive level to something.
Well,
that we don't know. We might not see. For instance, the tobacco, right? Your body freaks out. So you have a different self-awareness that most people don't have. So you understand the correlation between the tobacco and not so much the weed. But other people, they might see it as the weed. You know what I mean? So that's important. Everything that we do, we have to be careful. Speaking of shit that we do, let's talk about some of the shit that you do.
Right.
Let us know. Shit? I don't know. Whatever shit you want to talk about. Let's talk about the big shit that we came here to talk about. The really fucking kinky shit.
Right.
Tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot to it. So, there's all kinds of different, terms. Like, I think I'm more of like a little.
Okay.
So, that's just like a headspace, a little space. Like I just like, someone to kind of like baby me, I guess.
So.
And I like forced regression almost.
Forced
like someone's
regression.
kind of like, just regular Bret. Adult guy, and then someone forces me into that little space. Like there's little triggers and stuff like that. But so it stems from ABDL, and it's adult baby diaper lover. So there's
say that again for me.
Adult baby diaper lover.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of different like people that are on different spectrums of that. Like there's people that just see themselves as like an adult baby, and then that kind of goes into like DDLG. So like daddy dom, little girl, that's what that comes from. But they don't necessarily like the diapers and stuff like that. But then there's people that just like strictly like, you know, diapers and stuff. And that's it. But they don't like the adult baby stuff, which is kind of weird to me because it's like, well, I don't know. You know, some people just like convenience too, you know, like you know, like as far as like, you know, a medical type thing, you know, I'm sure there's a good amount of people that like it because they probably have like actual like need for them.
Oh, so,
so they found some sort of comfort.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
I have to tell you, working in the strip club, I had one experience that I remember specifically, and I've heard of other ones that relates more so to yours, but for me, I went back, I did a VIP room with this guy, right? And I'm dancing on him, and he's like asking me to call him, oh no, he's asking me to be his mommy. So he kept calling me mommy. And I was like really young at the time, and it was my first experience. So the correlation for me was like, oh my goodness, this mother like must have messed with him or something like that.
Right.
But that was my perception. It was a very basic, limited perception. And I believe that we should explore any aspect that we want, as long as it's not coming from a place of pain or, you know what I mean? Like,
I think a lot of it too has to do with like people don't realize like your first, you know, like stimulation, you know, for like or turn on, like comes at a very early age. So that could stem from anything, you know, like some, you know, people have like a babysitter kink, but it has nothing to do with that, you know, like being a baby or, you know, being mommied or anything like that. It's, you know, separate. Just like, oh, I'm sure some, you know, kid goes and sees the nurse and he's attracted to the nurse at school.
Got it.
And boom, he's got a nurse kink. You know, it's kind of those things like your first. I remember taking a psychology course, and that was like one of the things that I took from it was like your, you know,
your mother body and goes. Father.
Well, your earlier, like, I don't know. It's just weird, you know. I don't. It's
weird.
I don't remember what started it, but I remember being at an early age and like still. Maybe it's because I'm a middle child too, you know. So like all the attention that my brother got, and I was like, oh, you know, like I want that attention, you know.
That is amazing. And you know, so I wanted to say that because I know when people hear you say ABDL, obviously my reaction to it when me and you first met, it wasn't the same that I had the first experience that I had with ABDL. It's not the same. But,
well, because I mean, from what it sounds like some guy just kind of like sprung it on you.
Not really, though. I don't think he sprung it on me. I think he was respectful. I think I didn't understand him, and I didn't. So because of my circumstances, because of where I come from, that's how I linked it. You know what I mean? So because I'm more open at this point in my life, it wasn't like the same.
Right.
When you said it to me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, good for you. You know what I mean? So that's why I asked you, because I know that when people listen to this, they'll have that. So I want to shut that down right away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're a fucking cool ass dude. You are not a fucking creep. Okay.
And I mean, it's like, you know, also, you know, for anybody to be, you know, for anyone to think it's weird or, you know, like, oh, I mean, there's going to be, you know, questionable thoughts that come from it. But it's in the same sense of like, if I wanted to dress up as a policeman, it's not that I want to be a police officer.
Wow.
You know, I don't want to be a police officer. I'm just dressing up as a police officer. Same thing as if I wanted to be, you know, a doctor or something like that. Yes. I'm not going to go to school and learn to be a doctor just to get my doctor kink
That
done.
Is beautifully said. Like, just because you want to, because you said something, and I'm not sure if I have it correctly, about how instead of being a little, you just want to be the adult male, but that doesn't mean that you're going to fucking take advantage of a child.
Exactly.
I love that you said that. Thank you. And you know what? You are this is why I think you're exceptional, is because something like this, like I said, before that was my exact interpretation of what I was experiencing.
Right.
So you tend to not give a fuck and be like, you know what? Yes, this is what I'm into.
Right.
No, that does not mean I'm fucking unsafe.
Right.
How did you get to that level of just being comfortable with who you are and your sexuality?
Took a while, took years. I mean, because like I said, I mean, I was really young when I first started, wanting these things, right? Mm-hmm. So then once I first had like access to like the internet, of course I started looking up that stuff, because like what would any young kid do with the internet? And you're gonna look up porn, so that's where it started. And then I was like, oh well, these are, oh wow, people actually are into this type of thing. And then that evolved into Tumblr. Like Tumblr was like an outlet for years for people, and that started when I was like 17 or 18. And then just like over the years, I kind of figured out like, oh, this is what I'm interested in. Like, oh, do I just like this aspect of it? Do I like that aspect of it? You know what I mean? I didn't know exactly what I exactly liked about it. But then, I met some people in the community, and then I don't know. I think I don't know if I would say I'm like one of the most popular people in the community, but I would say
you're not one of the most popular people yet. We're working on it, because you will be, right?
Right.
You're not yet, but you will be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound egotistical, but I would say I have more of the normal type. Like, I mean, like, obviously it's not normal, but I'd say
it is normal. It is normal.
I present myself well,
Yeah.
And it's not like, because that's the other thing, there's probably a good portion of people that, just want to, it's just like dick pics, like there's nothing, like no one wants to see a dick pic, unless it's, consented to already.
Absolutely.
I mean, sometimes, I don't know. Well,
nope,
like,
never.
No.
Never. I want to ask specifically for your penis, okay?
Right.
Don't fucking send me a picture.
Then no one wants to randomly see that.
Of course.
But that's just like, guys, wearing diapers and stuff. Like, they just assume that, someone that's interested in the same thing that they're interested in, that's what they want to see. But it's not, like, it's just an element to it,
Right. And we were kind of discussing this the other day, and I wanted to kind of touch on that. So I'm going to take something maybe not as extreme as a diaper. Let's talk about chains on the neck, right?
Right.
So chains on the neck, that's not something that's seen in public. Right. However, it's not harming anybody if it's done in public, right?
Right.
It's just really, I shouldn't do this because society says. But if it was in public, would I look at it? Yeah. Would I look twice? Absolutely. Would I cover my kids' eyes? Probably not. So what I'm saying too is, as far as me being a stripper, will it harm my child if he knows? No, it would actually probably benefit him, because I'd be honest. But because we have these kind of influences from society that tells us what's okay and what's not, they pour over. So coming back to this thing about men in diapers, why are you kind of, what is the word that I'm looking for? Why do you retract from that?
Like, what do I retract from it?
You're not okay with men wearing diapers in public.
Not that. Well, no, it's okay if, there's like another consenting person or someone that knows, if you know what I mean.
What about the general public?
Oh, like, it's okay. Like, I mean, it's the same thing as if someone's wearing like regular underwear, right? It's not necessarily anybody's business.
Why are you okay? Because I don't know. That's the thing that I'm trying to think about. I'm like, okay, if a man had on a diaper,
it's not really a bad thing.
In front of my son, though, that's what I gotta think
about.
Well,
I mean,
you know what I mean? How would I
here's
feel?
the thing: if like they have like their pants down and that's all they're wearing. They're obviously trying to push something onto somebody that's not
Oh my God.
right.
You're right.
And then you like, I mean, just go on YouTube and, you know, you're going to see some cringy stuff with everything.
I love that about you.
Yeah.
Because you are who you are.
Yeah.
And you're like,
you have to be respectful still.
You don't have to be. You choose to be respectful. Right. And you're aware of that. People aren't. So how do you balance your I don't give a fuck attitude? This is what I'm into. I am going to wear diapers in my bedroom. I will piss in it. I will ask somebody else to wear one. But what I will not do is make other people feel uncomfortable. How do you balance giving a fuck with not giving a fuck?
Well, I mean, there's like an equal ground there, right? It's just like not, you know, as long as you're not pushing it, like, oh, you know, you're not going to go into Walmart and go up to the cashier clerk and then tell them, oh, hey, I just shit my pants, you know, or just like something like that, you know what I mean? That's like ridiculous. That's what a lot of guys do in the DL community.
And it makes other people feel uncomfortable.
There's like, because like some, you know, I mean, I get bored. I look up what's on YouTube.
Of course.
You know, in the community.
We all
to
get
see
bored.
what's normal and what's not normal. Like, you know, there's a guy on YouTube that just records himself buying like adult diapers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I feel like but the way he's going about it is like he's filming the people that he's buying it from. And
making them uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, like, those people didn't ask to be in the video. Like, oh, you know, like, it's, I don't know.
You do know.
Well, you know, some people don't take that pride in themselves or see themselves as, like, a person, too, you know, or, like, oh, let's have some pride in, like, what we do or what we post about ourselves or do, you know, in general, you know. That, like, I take pride in everything I do. Like, I don't want to, you know, just show up and look half-assed.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
So the thing is that you're absolutely right. Pride is essential in being okay with who we are. Because when we feel good about ourselves, we'll represent ourselves in a better manner. But growing up, I was taught I was a Jehovah's Witness. So the way I was raised was that only certain things should I take pride in. Everything else, this is my perception. This is what I gained from the messages that were sent to me. Everything else, contrary to this, I should not be proud of. Like what they do in the Jehovah's Witness setting.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was 14 years old, my first sexual experience, I had to sit in front of fucking 60-year-old men. And they were like, did you ejaculate? Oh, well, did he ejaculate? But at the time, I didn't understand what ejaculation was. Right. You understand? So I was made to feel so terrible.
I worked with Jehovah's Witnesses for like a small amount of time. And what I learned was that they were like all pieces of shit.
Really?
Yeah. So like I worked with the company that was ran by Jehovah's Witnesses. And from my interpretation, they interpreted that like, yeah, you know, if your boss is shitty to you, well, it's okay because just accept it.
Right. They settle.
So, hey, you guys worked like 10 hours of overtime, but we're not going to pay you double time or time and a half. We're not really going to pay you for that 10 hours, actually. We're going to pay you.
Wait, your bosses were Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah. It was all run by Jehovah's Witnesses. So, but then I worked with a really nice guy, but he was also like very bipolar. Like but like, oh, you know, he was a Jehovah's Witness, but like he just said a ton of shitty things about people.
Right.
You know, like, come on, man. You know, that God's telling you to be like,
right.
You know, I don't know. This is back This was like 2015.
No, it's still relevant.
So
those shitty things that he was saying about other people, so I internalized those shitty things about myself not to be that way.
right.
And I don't think it's unique to just Jehovah's Witnesses. So when I started dancing, I was happy. I went from fucking being this fucking poor girl to having shit to making six figures. However, the shame that came with it was not from within myself. It was from what I was told I could and could not be.
Right.
And I should and should not be. How does that relate to you?
Well, I mean, like I said, so I grew up in like a Catholic home. Mm-hmm. So my mom was super Catholic, and we went to church like every day, like all throughout the week. You know, sometimes like like Sunday we'd go, and then every once in a while we'd just be swamped with church. That's what it'd be. And I don't know. I just like learned over time. Like we'd go to these CCD classes, and then the people that were teaching us were just kind of really judgy and
absolutely
like awful. Like I didn't want to grow up to be that way.
Wow.
Like wow, that's what being like religious and faithful is gonna, make me into like a miserable person that like shames people for every little thing. We had this like old guy, and you just tattoos are bad.
Absolutely.
I go down, and you know how many people get HPV from tattoos?
I don't think any. I
mean, every once in a while it happens, but
that is probably very fucking. HPV is prevalent, but through tattoos, I'm pretty sure that's not how it happens.
So it was he was just making up stuff.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And then we'd have like a big congregation. This is like later on in CCD, and then because I remember I asked him, I was like, is like boxing a sin? And he was like, well, it is, because it's violent and all that good stuff. They're saying that people pushing things onto people that aren't asking for it. Right. That's where it's wrong. Like people don't need to know everything, but things can still be going on, right? Like just little things.
Yeah, like your awareness. You said something like you picked up on the fact that what you were being taught was bullshit. I did not until I was a lot older.
Right.
So your perception is really fantastic. And maybe that's why you are less prone to pay attention so much to what other people perceive you as, because from your experiences, most people are just full of shit.
Right. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Most people are, just, like, I mean, for me, it's like if I disagree with something, I'm going to disagree with it. I think a lot of people are, just easy to agree. Like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go along with this. Or if something's really aggravating me, like, I'm not going to let it build up. Like, I mean, I did when I was younger, but I'm just going to call it out for what it is. I'm not going to...
That's brave.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. It's something I don't like, something I don't want to do. I'm going to let you know I don't like it, and I don't want to do it.
I do know.
You do?
Yes, I do know, because that is something that through my religion, I was taught that it was not okay to be different, that I had to be a certain type of way.
Right.
So in my adult life, I'm learning that I don't have to be that way. And when somebody tells me I don't like something, despite the fact that I'm not okay with it,
right,
I would have gone along with it because that's the way my religion told me to do. What, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, like I said, those 60-year-old men in that fucking room, I was not okay with it. My mother did not stand up for me.
right.
But I went along with it, and that has carried through into my adult life by doing things that I'm not okay with because it was embedded in me as a child that this is something I have to do.
I don't know if they like have a name for it, but I think it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like the school, like Catholic schoolgirl like effect.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Tell me about it.
Well, like, Katy Perry, like she was just like a Catholic school. I don't know if she was like a Catholic girl or whatever, but just like, you can't be anything more than, a religious person.
Exactly.
But, just I mean, that goes for most people, I think, and like just most famous people, most child stars and stuff like that. Like Miley Cyrus, like for years, like, oh, you can only be, like this goofy Hannah Montana thing. Yeah, I know it's so bizarre to say.
It's not bizarre at all.
But then, like, oh, she went through her like post, like crazy like thought phase, post all that stuff. Sorry, I think maybe that's like.
Did you have that phase? Because I know for sure
probably.
I had the fucking thought phase. Tell me about your. Am I saying it right? Thought.
Yeah.
How do I say? Is it thought? I'm not hip to like lingo.
I feel like. Well, I mean, I just like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was like I don't know. I don't think I was like a punk, but like I always got into like fights and stuff like that. I used to just beat people up in like high school.
Why?
Like someone would say something, I'd just throw them into a locker and beat them up. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I was just like, I don't know. It was all, you got to be this like innocent like Catholic kid that can't do anything. You can't, like I don't know. I probably went to bed at like 9:00 for years up until like, high school. Like I didn't really. I don't know.
Can I ask you something? And it's going to be really personal. But what me and you went through, it's not relating to sex work exactly.
Right.
We went through being so controlled in such a controlled environment. And then we broke through in one way or another. And of course, we're not perfect. We still struggle. I know that I still struggle with this. But we broke through. So for people that have been, whether it was in a relationship that controlled them, a religion that controlled them, a parent that was just batshit crazy and controlled them.
Right.
What advice do you have for somebody to break through? Because our intuition tells us what we want, but for me, I was so fucking indoctrinated that I didn't understand my intuition. Right. For you, you understood it before.
I don't know.
Me.
It's kind of weird. It's like, like even, being in like 5th grade or being in elementary school and like hearing like risque music.
Yeah, I know.
Like not even risque. Like, I mean, like now looking back at it, it was like, What
song are you talking about? Tell me what fucking song.
Maybe it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Oh, like even like it sounds so crazy, but like the Black Eyed Peas had like a song. It was just about like someone shaking their ass.
My Humps? Are you talking about My Humps?
No, it was like way before that.
Okay, because that was one of the ones that were not.
And then like Just a Little Bit by 50 Cent. Like, I remember
Damn,
hearing that
baby,
and
all I
being like,
need
oh
is a
man, this
little
is a
bit.
really good song.
Yes.
I don't know why, but it's like super sexual and,
It's really not, though.
No, what? Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to unbutton your pants just a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right?
Right.
For me.
Because, like, I was listening to that with my headphones on, like, I was like, oh shit. Is God really upset that I'm listening to this? Or is God really upset that I'm saying fuck in the shower?
Yes.
Because I remember I was in the shower and I was like,
the battery is low.
You gotta charge the battery, it's low.
I gotta charge some battery shit. Okay.
But I remember being in the shower and being like, man, is God really spying on me right now? And then I was just like, fuck.
So
like, can God hear me right now?
Yeah, I would be masturbating, right? Which is like the most natural thing.
Definitely.
Oh my God, I'm going to hell.
I felt the same way. Yeah.
God, maybe if I would have found my clit like a little sooner, I would have helped the men that fucked me find it.
When I was like in like high school, I used to like whack off like 30 times a week.
Good for you.
Yeah, I was like, oh damn, like, God is really upset with me.
No, but at least you had the balls to whack off. Like,
Yeah.
I did not have the balls to find my clit. Okay.
Right. Well, I didn't know what I was doing for years, and then someone was like, someone said something about masturbation, and I was like, you know what? That sounds an awful lot like what I think I'm doing, but I don't have a name for it yet.
So
like, I was just young and naive,
totally. The Jehovah's
I
Witness.
touched my dong once, and I was like, all right, well, things are working here.
I'm sorry, this is fucking hilarious. You touched your dong and you realized it.
It's like, damn, did I just
Yes.
like piss my pants? But I didn't. It was just jizz.
It was not just jizz. It was fucking finally jizz.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So the reason why I'm laughing so hard is because, the same thing. Jehovah's Witnesses, they were like, no, masturbation is wrong because you cut all this shit off,
Right.
whatever. Fucking cut off your dick if it means you have to fucking get through Armageddon, okay? So the first time...
And they're like, you need to go to your local grocery store and grab the most plain Greek salad that you can find.
Missionary
without
only.
any sort of seasoning or dressing. You just have to eat the lettuce and the spinach raw with nothing on it.
No diapers.
No diapers.
No fucking diapers.
No.
So when I first orgasmed, like, I never thought my clitoris was effective until I had my first orgasm, which was with a vibrator.
Right.
So, you are fucking amazing. Like, you
Thank
really
you.
are.
Thank you.
So, when did you start to... I should rephrase this because I want to be really specific on the question that I'm asking. So you went from not even understanding what masturbation was...
Right.
to knowing exactly what you want sexually,
Right.
how you want to get it, what it is that you are comfortable with, and what it is that you are not.
Right.
But on top of that, you're doing a fucking podcast about it.
Right. I've come a long way. That's for
A
sure.
fucking long way. You went from fucking beating kids' ass and shoving them into lockers. You know what I mean?
I mean, they asked for it.
I believe you.
You know, I didn't do it to anybody that didn't deserve it. Like, I wasn't an asshole, but if someone wanted to be an asshole to me, I was gonna beat the fucking shit out. But it's all good.
It is all good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, it definitely, things evolved, and like, just the amount of stuff that I own now is pretty crazy. Like, I literally have just a whole extra room dedicated to that stuff. So, I mean, I feel pretty prideful about that. And just all my hobbies. Like, I just enjoy life and live off my hobbies.
You weren't able to do that before?
No, not really. I mean, I did it periodically for years. But, it's pretty nice.
You did it periodically for years. What do you mean by that?
Oh, just like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I just, like, figured out I could make money here, make money there, do this, do that. And now I just do all of that. Like I buy and sell collectibles and stuff like that. I did that for years. I did that when I was really young. Like, I started doing that when I was like 10, so now I know what to buy and what to sell and what to hold on to. I don't need to rely on it, but here and there it makes me a good amount of money. Then, I like my, aesthetics for my ABDO lifestyle. Like I got a lot of accessories and stuff like that, and
yes,
I have it at all times.
When you want,
when I want.
Yes, because it's what you want. You're not allowing other people to control that. Yeah.
It's like, it's a little bit of a lifestyle too, It's something that provides me comfort, if I'm stressed out or something. It sounds super weird, but it's just...
It does not.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Evolution. You mentioned evolution. So, most people become stuck at exactly where they are.
Right.
And a lot of the reasons why I have been stuck, and other people are still stuck, is because of outside factors, and they become internal factors. So how did you break through? How did you evolve?
I just moved away from my parents. That was the number one thing.
I'm sorry, what did you do?
I moved away from my parents.
Could you say that one more time for me?
I moved out of my parents' household.
So Bret got the fuck away from his parents, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And why was that beneficial?
'Cause I'm cool and they're not.
How are you cool?
'Cause I am me and they're not. Yeah.
And you did not let them define you.
I'm also like, I don't know. Like, my parents are good people, but also really shitty people. I don't know what I am, but, like, I don't give a shit. Like, there's a level to be, for everyone to want to be charitable. I am kind of charitable sometimes, but if I like to do things that benefit me too.
Absolutely.
Like if there's not, I'm kind of selfish. Like, do I want some, personal gains with everything? Absolutely. I want to gain something. Like I don't want to just give something away. Sometimes, it's just a whim type thing that I can do. But, I also, like my father never worked the day that I existed.
Wow.
So my dad just, worked at flea markets and sold things on the weekends when, like, we're just like a lower middle class family. So we're, broke all the time. So there's that. So, but then, my dad would be like, oh, I did this for somebody and this, I can't believe that they didn't do this for me. And I was like, what? I am never going to say that. Like, if I do something for somebody, like I'm really not looking for anything in return.
Absolutely.
But also if I do get something in return, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a little weird hypocrisy in me too.
No, that's not hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's not selfishness either.
Yeah.
Because in my religion, and I realize in others around me, people are taught to give what they do not have, and they have these unreal expectations that God is just going to fucking return it.
Right.
That's not the truth. We have to work for what the fuck we want. You know what I mean? Like, we have to work for it. So when you give to somebody else, you give to them because you want to help them. But at the end of the day, in your heart, it brings you gladness. It makes you happy.
Right.
So in the contribution box, that's what they were called in Jehovah's Witnesses Church.
Right.
We would give with the last that we had, with the hope that something would be returned to us, and that is not how it works.
Right. Like, I think my mom like donated like $3,000 to like the church, like in like a very short amount of time, and I was like, my mom felt bad, but you know what? Like, I don't know. Like, it was weird. Like, my dad did a lot of stuff for the community, but like people would like make fun of my father too behind his back and stuff like that, and I thought, I don't know, I have a very bizarre relationship with my parents.
They made fun of my mom too, trust me. They made fun of my mom. I don't know if she knows it or not, but they made fun of my mom too.
Like, my dad would do like all the things for my brother's baseball games, and then the coach would talk shit about my dad. Like, my dad was doing everything. So like I said, my parents are good people, but simultaneously, like, they do really shitty things too. So, but, you know, I don't know. They're forgivable.
Absolutely, we all are. So let me ask you this, right? So, me and you do a lot of shitty things, right? Maybe not a lot. We're probably more conscious of it, but we're still human. We are going to do shitty things.
Right.
People are going to talk behind our backs. People are going to laugh at us.
Oh, yeah.
What is the difference between us being who we are and our parents?
I think, well, the key to it is just being confident in yourself and wanting, you know, for yourself. Like, you know, like, ultimately everybody's going to say something about somebody, and, you know, it doesn't matter, because it's only really how you feel, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
So
that's why, like, you know, I don't know, you know, you probably have people, like, try to pop back in, or maybe people that just, like, waved you off, and then all of a sudden you run into them and they're really desperate to get, like, some sort of acknowledgement out of you. Have you ever experienced that?
So I have to say,
Because, like, no.
I have not yet, because the majority of, so I'm 30 now.
Right.
I was kicked out of the religion until I was 19. So the power that I have naturally now, I always possessed it, but I didn't know how to harness it. So that's new to me. So I don't know, but when it starts happening, we're going to talk about it.
Right. Because, like, I've been in situations where I've, like, worked somewhere where I'm, like, doing, you know, I'm dealing with customers, and this is years ago, and those customers would make, I worked at gyms, so I'd have these same people come up to us and complain about everything, and complain about the people that are working there all day. And then years later, you're going to the same gym and you're working out there. You no longer work there. And those same fuckers want to talk to you and be your friend. Like, fuck you. Get the fuck away from me. You know, you just did all these things. Like, oh, you complain about everything that we're doing, or all the work we're doing. Oh, they're, you know, you have... Yeah, I digress. But you're trying to be my friend. You're not my friend. Like, you know, if you're not my friend, I just want to go to the gym and work out and get out of there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
It's like, oh, hey, let's sit down and you know, talk for a minute. No, I'm working here. Like, I'm working out. This is work for me. This is not fun. This is not, yeah, I mean, it's great for me, but I just want to fucking work out. I don't want don't want to deal with
Of
you.
course, because you're
Right.
focused on yourself.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, not talking secularly. What was the difference between when you were an employee at the gym and a customer? I'm talking about you.
Right.
And I believe it has something to do with your confidence, with not seeking outside validation. Would I be
like
right or?
for like at those gyms, like there's just like social cliques that work there, but think they also like own the place.
And you weren't part of those cliques.
No, but it's like, oh, you want me to be part of your weirdo old people clique, you know? Like I literally like I have like people follow me around at the gym, like
I believe you do.
all day, and just get my headphones on, and I don't want to talk to them. I just want to work out. Please give me my space.
You have to talk to them though. Can
Yeah.
I tell you why?
Oh, I have. They don't understand it. It's just. I'm sorry. We're like going off on.
No, this is perfect.
Spiraling off.
We're going into exactly where we need to be going.
Right.
So you.
If I see that someone like clearly you're someone that doesn't care about the people that are putting the work into the place, like you're treating them as peons, and then you see them and they don't work there anymore, and you want to talk to me and be friendly with me. No, you treat these people like peons. Fuck you.
But that's why they need
Right.
you.
Right.
That's why they need you, because you see that. So what you have is something that not many people have. So I'm going through something like that too. You know what I mean? And I think it's my ego. For instance, I don't have the recognition.
When you're working, like, there's like a certain, I don't know, maybe a group of customers that come in and just go to a particular area and then just like act like their shit don't stink. But then, when those particular areas are gone, then, oh, wow, hey, you've been here for a while. Yeah, let's go to you and talk to you,
So,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe in that sense, but also in the sense that maybe it was my perception that that's how they viewed me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe it was my own perception of myself. What I will say, though, is that I'm very much like you. I really am, because I see people that, because of my own pain, I see people that are hurting. For instance, sorry was something that I used to say all the time when I didn't have to.
Right.
So
yeah, I the same. I always apologize for stuff that I don't need to apologize for.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I'm holding this door for you.
Exactly.
Like, it makes no sense at all.
But no, it does make sense.
I would do that stuff.
It makes sense, though.
I always hold doors open for people.
You should. We all should.
But now, as I've gotten older, I don't care.
You do care, because you would hold the door for me.
Yeah, I would.
I know you would.
Yeah.
You do care.
Yeah.
But you're just not so apologetic about not holding the door open for people that don't deserve it.
Right.
And so how I relate to you, it's on my own personal experience. Like, both of us, we said sorry too much.
Right.
When we shouldn't have had to. So you tend to avoid people that have never said sorry to you. And me, I turn to kind of focus on people that say sorry too much.
Right.
Right? So it's so important that the people that me and you avoid, because of our personal experience, we welcome them in, we embrace them, because what we have to offer is something that they do not yet have.
Right.
And that's understanding, awareness, confidence, exactly like you said, confidence. So we've always possessed it, but we didn't know how to display it.
Right.
So when we display those things, our power is something that most do not comprehend. I can give you an example, right? And so the other day at work, I was late. I got there at 8 o'clock. That's like the deadline. And before I got in, I seen other girls leaving my job. They were walking out because they already went to the office. They couldn't work. And I need to work on it. I am chronically late, which is not okay, but I'm working on it. But that day I realized that I got to work. So I told the owner of the club, I said, hey, after I seen these girls walk away, I told him that I don't normally get up on days like this. I would not have made it in, but today I did. And he said, oh, so is this something you made up in your car? And I told him, I said, it doesn't matter whether you believe me or not, because I'm proud of myself for making it here today. Right. He didn't reply to me. He said, okay. I worked that night. And I wasn't disrespectful, but he was not used to experience a power that came from a stripper in that manner that said, this is what I did. I don't need your validation.
I think that's like, well, like what is like 5 minutes in the work world? Like, oh, this person's 5 minutes late. Like, oh, I can understand hours.
Absolutely.
Late,
no, I'm supposed to be there at 7.
7. Oh, well.
Yeah, so I'm like when I get there at 8, that's like the extreme. I should be there at 6:30, so I'm on the floor at 7. So I'm
like,
in the
is
wrong.
everything like going like everything's like going the same way as it would have been anyway? So what does it matter?
I love that perception.
Yeah.
So give people. So that's the thing. We have to be flexible, but we cannot.
I think that's like
give.
Where I am in my life right now is I have like a lot of people in my life that just haven't like made an effort to like actually go on to like step out of their comfort zone or do something different, or like I said, like I worked at this place for a while. That was years ago. That was like 6 years ago. The same people that work there when I was there are there.
You are not there. You are not there.
And there's this one lady that's always just stirring shit up. Like, oh, I complain about this person. She works there. She's like an assistant manager. You're an assistant manager at a gym. You really take like pride in you're making things, you're helping out the place, sure, but like you're like twice my age, and you're just sitting there gossiping and stirring shit up, and some other girl worked there and she was like stirring shit up between her and her husband and stuff like that, and making up stuff that didn't need to be said, or like had no, there was no reason for it to be said. So that's just like but this is the same person that if I, everybody that worked there, like everybody would leave a half hour early, but if I asked to leave 10 minutes early, like I was an evil person. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a type of, like, petty type of shitty person that those type of people I don't want in my life.
Exactly.
Like, what are you trying to get out of your life?
She's trying to get power from outside sources.
Right.
Because she does not know how to harness
Because her life sucks, so she's trying to drain whatever life that she can find out of other people.
Absolutely.
She's a living vampire. That's what a vampire is. That's what they made vampire stories about.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Some basement dwelling, things coming out of its little coffin, and it's sucking the life out of joyous living people. That's a vampire. Right,
No, you're absolutely right. And I have to say about the owner that I was just talking about, he's not that way, actually. No. He has to be that way because strippers tend to be like me, lacking of discipline, which I'm working on, unreliable. That is something that I see. So he is actually one of the best club owners that I have ever worked for. I really have to say that, because he's authentic to who he is, which means that he knows when it's bullshit and he will not allow it. But when it's something that even if it's like an excuse, but you're telling him like you're real with him, he's not going to this is my experience. I don't know other girls' experience, but for me, he's not trying to make anybody feel worthless or tell them what they can and can't do. What he's doing is saying, this is my place. You can do this here. I will not allow that here. Right. And that's essential to being successful, is setting boundaries.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
No, well, that sounds more like a businessman.
Right.
Right.
And the woman that you talked about sounds like more like a fucking mean girl.
Like a high school girl.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, that's what, you need to make, like, business choices. You have to go into business for yourself sometimes.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and do things that you enjoy, do things that you benefit from.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know.
You do know.
Yeah. I mean, well, like, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like that was like one of his big things. Like, you can be a little charitable, but work on yourself and just bend rules, but don't break rules. Like,
I will break the fucking rules.
Right.
Sometimes, if I feel necessary.
Your insurance is like $600-$700 a month or something absurd. Put it in your mom's name or your dad's name.
Not acceptable.
You'll be okay.
No, not acceptable. I have done that before. If you're doing that, don't fucking do that shit.
Right.
It is not okay.
No.
All right, Bret, I am so fucking happy that you are here.
Right.
Today.
Thank you.
That we are here with each other.
Yeah.
If you guys would see, you will not be able to see, because Bret has a professional job, and he's not ready to share his ABDL. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
With that part of his life, yeah. So I will tell you, from where I'm looking at, green eyes, fucking dimples.
Blue eyes.
Oh, I'm wrong? I am fucking wrong.
It's probably the light. Maybe it's making my eyes green. I don't know.
His eyes are exceptional.
Thank you.
He has muscles. He has a nice beard going on, and he has fucking dimples, like real dimples, not like halfway dimples. What is your Instagram?
It's at Bret, BRET _ Rambo, like RAMBO.
So it is B as in boy, R, E.
As in Rambo, E as in enjoy, it's Bret Rambo, T as in there, it's Bret Rambo, _ as in _ R as in Rambo, as in Bret Rambo, A as in all good. We were talking to Bret Rambo.
All good. We're talking to Bret Rambo.
As in, my God. You're talking to Bret _ Rambo.
Say that. My God.
B as in boy. That's
Baby?
Bret Rambo. O as in, oh my God, that is Bret Rambo.
Wait, I want to say B as in baby.
The Robert Loggia Family Guy reference I'm referring to? No.
Oh, God. No.
Robert Loggia Family Guy.
Somebody does. I don't. But somebody does.
And Robert Loggia goes to the airport and he explains how you spell Robert Loggia, and it's all Robert Loggia. A different way to say Robert Loggia. R as in Robert Loggia. O as in, oh my God, it's Robert Loggia, et cetera, it's Robert Loggia.
I believe you. Yeah. Right now, right fucking now, give me 3 reasons why those people listening out there, despite their upbringing, despite society, why should they not give a fuck and do what makes them happy? 3 reasons right now. Sound them off.
Because you owe it to yourself.
Absolutely.
You owe it to the people that you're friends with, the people that support you, to be yourself.
Absolutely.
And, happiness and, pride. You need that.
Pride.
Yeah. Just be you. Be you. Because you can't be happy if you're not, you. You can't be happy being somebody else.
I agree.
Yeah. And you have to accept everything about yourself. Because if you don't, you're not going to be happy.
What is one thing that you are struggling to accept about yourself right now?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it comes and goes with the ABDL stuff, but it's less and less over time. Yeah, I mean, that was like something I was super insecure about at 19. Now I'm just like, that's me,
Absolutely, yeah. So my weirdness, I'm fucking a weirdo, which I'm glad to be.
Well, I'm a weirdo. I'm okay being a weirdo. I'm clearly a weirdo.
Are you? I like you. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
noticed
mean,
your
come
weirdness.
on. Like, I'm into diapers and stuff, so I'm a weirdo. And, right?
I love it.
So, I just gotta be happy being a weirdo.
So I will be happy.
I just made
being
a
weirdo.
big Robert Loggia quote.
What is it?
That's
I love
weird.
it.
I'm just being a weirdo. I'm just being me, being crazy and weird. And you just gotta own it.
So you are just fucking being outstanding as you should be.
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
If something falls flat, who cares? Right. You just learn to,
Yeah?
Yeah. You just learn to see how it falls, I guess.
I don't think anything about you will fall flat.
Nah.
I think it already has, and that's why you're so above the flat line.
Right.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, we're about to end this shit.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Oh, no. I'm good. I said enough. I talked everybody's ears off. Or mics off.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Blowing Lines.
Thank you. Gracias.
Who are you thanking? The people listening to us? We should thank
Thanking
them.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanking God. Thanking the universe. And,
absolutely.
And the thank people. Yeah.
People. Thank you, people.
The people that created thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoever originally said thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to original thank youers.
Yeah, thankers. Thank you.
This has been Blowing Lines. I'm your hostess. I will not see you because I don't have cameras on you, but you will see me. Have a good night.